once we get all the pieces assembled, we'll put it all together. Although there's a bunch of wires, which I will not be attaching to the model just because I feel like it would be better to paint the model first and then attach the wires. It seems quite complex. I can show you guys actually. Well, I say complex, but it seems like pretty involved. See that? Like there's a whole bunch of tubes and wires that you have to kind of thread through the sort of arm musculature, more tubes. And yeah, all that stuff, I feel like it'd be better to do it after it's painted. That's just a theory. Ba, ba, ba. Also, kind of lending further evidence to the idea that it's going to be showcased elsewhere at some later point in time. The event for this sort of like final farewell to the Gundam, it was called, you know, whatever, the final grand finale, Yokohama Gundam, to the next stage. So that's like very interesting too, that they said to the next stage. Yeah, this is Maschinen Krieger. This is the Grosser Hund, and pretty cool kit so far. Although not for the faint of heart. If you're someone that's perfectly content building Gunpla and you don't really want to get into seam line removal, like every part needs to basically have seam line removal. Every part needs glue. No, there's no snap fitting over here. So it's a lot more involved, but you just kind of have to embrace it. All right, there we go. Now, let's see. What are we feeling like? What are we feeling like? All right. Let's check once again. These parts are nicely fitted. Although, that being said, the wave models. So this is Hasegawa, as I said. The wave range of Maschinen Krieger models, I believe, are snap fit. I haven't built one yet, but I would like to at some point in the future. I think it'd be neat to do like a diorama where you have like multiple Maschinen Krieger kits, and I think it would be interesting to try and combine a couple of kits from different ranges, not simply just Hasegawa. All right, that's probably clean enough. There we go. Maybe they'll just like completely gut the Gundam and then put a different set of like exterior armor on top of it. I don't think they'll do that, to be honest. What was the diorama for this? Yeah, so I'm thinking about it kind of stems from what you're saying, that like it means like a hound, right? And I thought it might be cool to have like animals incorporated into a diorama, into this scene. That being said, I would need to source 1 in 20th scale. Like, I was thinking it'd be cool to get wolves. Get like a feral wild wolf model, 1 in 20th scale. I don't know where I'd be able to find such a thing. At that point, maybe I'd have to get a 3D printed one or look up Etsy. But that might be cool. So a real cool diorama build with 1 in a WW1 style trench. Ooh, interesting. Fox hunting? That'd be pretty funny, fox hunting. Yeah, so not like necessarily a dog, but maybe a wolf of some kind. Just got kind of this image of like wild animals, and then this scary looking machine just kind of seemed really interesting to me. There we go. There is the bazooka, and we do have to attach this thing onto it. We have to make sure that it's attached properly. Wait, did they tell me... Does this need to be glued on? Yeah, it needs to be glued on. Okay, let's do that. Oh, you know what? We can't glue it on just yet because we have to do the seam line removal process. So let's do that. Did anyone do anything interesting this weekend? Doesn't have to be Easter related, just in general. There you go. Cool. Weren't here for this, and anyone else, I was actually explaining my character in Dragon's Dogma. I'll have to post some pictures, but for my own character, I basically just made a vaguely Filipino-looking person. I wouldn't say that the character looks like me, but he looks like some kind of Asian person, which is good enough. But for my pawn, I was like, what if we made the pawn Ippo? That way, like, Arch, when you get the game, you can actually hire Ippo. You can hire Ippo, or anyone else that's playing the PlayStation version. I don't think it's cross-compatible, unfortunately. But yeah, so I basically made... I tried initially to make a sloth beast man, beast ren, but it's kind of like the... You can only really make a cat person, as far as I've noticed. It's not like I can make a sloth person, let alone even like a dog person or a bird person or anything like that. So basically I just ended up making I got like the fur the same color more or less, and then I made the one eye closed because that's kind of a thing. I tried to get the hair looking a little shaggy, but otherwise he's like a muscular, sexy cat man. Otherwise, I basically just made a big, tall, muscular, sexy cat man. So if you guys want to have the alternate universe version of Ippo as a giant, muscular, sexy cat man, yes, it's possible. You can hire Ippo. Oh man. Oh, Arch, and you'll find this amusing. When you create your pawn, you have to sort of assign them their pawn inclination. It's sort of like their attitude, right? So in the previous game, you could make them like actively forage and explore, or you could make them more of like a healer type, going around and making sure that everyone is at full health. I was like, you know what, just be aggressive. I want you to do cool moves and attack. But beyond just assigning them their characteristics in battle, it also affects their attitude. And so when it came to choosing their voice, the game basically gives you a selection of voices that would kind of complement a aggressive, arrogant kind of character. So I didn't really think much of it, but once he emerged from the Archstone, or whatever it's called, once he emerged, he was like, "Greetings." Greetings. I'm here to help you. I was like, oh my god, he's basically Reginald. I basically just made Reginald his voice, and I even saved a clip. I'll try and post a clip at some point. I made a muscular, sexy Catman Ippo / Reginald. Well, that's life in the world of Dragon's Dogma, you know? It's not the dimension for streaming. It's not from the streaming dimension. It's from the fantasy world dimension. I'll help you. It's like, yes, I think I'll help you on your adventures. I was like, what? He really did? He really talks like that? Alright. Alright. Got a good chuckle out of me. It's like I gotta tell Arch about this. There we go. This is like 1000 grit. So we can still go a little further. Excited to get into it, yeah. It's interesting how much is similar and how much is different, and looking forward to exploring more. The other thing that's like I was struck with just kind of in the early stages of this game is just how, you know, it just feels so good to be back, you know? Like, it does have a very familiar feel to it from the colors and the controls and everything, the art style. It's just at like a higher fidelity. And it's just very comforting. It's just like, oh man, I'm back, baby. One of my favorite games of all time. You know, played it multiple times. PS3, PlayStation 4, played it on stream. The DLC, I've got multiple copies of it. And now we're back. And that's about it. Like, I think that might be the one game I pay full price for this year. As far as I know, I don't know what else big games are really going to catch my eye, but I'm kind of okay with that as well. You know, games are, we've talked about this a bunch of times, but you know, games are expensive, and this was like $100 Canadian. Sheesh. There we go. There's still more details. Let's see, what else do we need to do? And as I said, there's a bunch of cables that you kind of have to wire through. Like, you literally have to cut out... Where is it? Coming at you in the dark. Dude. I'll shit my pants. Yeah, so there's like this piping that you have to cut to size and sort of thread throughout the model. You can see here, but we'll save that for after. We'll save that for, like, you know, after painting. I think it'll be okay to do that, because it seems like it would be really annoying to have to get to all these the pipe. It seems annoying to like get to all these areas with the tubes attached. Tubes. Now, yeah, there's also some clear plastic parts. Again, I'll attach that later. I'll do it later. Just kind of doing a loose fit at the moment. The way the head juts out from the body here is really cool. And there's all this mechanical detail here. Like, look at all of this. It's really, really cool. All of that stuff. Bad bitch acquired. Dark alley, walking down, buzzing and whirring. I need bone marrow, dude. That's scary. Alright. Yeah, so there's some clear parts. All of this will just fall off if I just shake the model, so I'm just going to very carefully... where does this go? There's something that goes on the chest. Oh, this looks like a light. looks like something goes here. I'm not sure what. I feel like something else goes there. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, I feel like we can just... There's a bunch of other... These, like, spoon-shaped parts. Purple! What's up, Purple? Consume beverage. We've got an adult beverage here. Looky, looky. Yeah, I'm at the point where I can't really glue these parts on, and so I feel like I might as well just leave them on this right now, just because it's easier for me to find it. There's a number of small bolts that I need to place. We could do some of that. Epo After Dark, DGen adjacent streamer, hell yeah. Let's take a little break, guys. On that note, I feel like nature. There's not much left to do for this model, as far as like the assembly goes. We're gonna have to just, at this point, think about customizing it. But the basic assembly is all done, so not bad, not bad. Some parts are falling off again. Many parts of this model simply just sort of float in place and glue is required. So we'll have to take care of that. Gnarly! Do you start DD2? Yes, last night played a little bit, and today a bit more. Might even dig into it more tonight after stream, but it's good. Obviously, just barely did anything, to be honest, but very good so far. Really gotta sort of sink into the... have yet to really get into the meat of it. You know, there's still a lot of tutorialization going on. You know, it's like maybe like only 2 hours into it so far. The shocks with springs, yeah, so that's the thing with Maschinen Krieger, where a lot of the original models and concepts came from kit bash parts, and some of those parts, like, people have like gone in and like identified those bits and pieces. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like this whole like interior situation, someone could identify all of that from like a bike or a motorcycle or a car or what have you, right? But that's neat. It makes you feel like you're a kit basher without actually having to have kit bash the model. But it also it would feel very liberating to then do your own kit bashing and customization to it. I would say like less than half, less than 50% of the model. Not much of it was snap fit. Yeah. I mean, the parts that move are not glued, right? Those are like ball and joint connections. But more often than not, something where like you'd have to assemble the thigh in a Gunpla model, those would be like a snap fit connection. There might be pegs, but it's like kind of loosely fitting, and you really need to get in there with the glue. So yeah. With that being said, this is a Hasegawa model, and my understanding is that the wave models are snap fits. They have more snap fit parts, but snap fit enough that you can break it apart.